My name is Maria Teresa. I live in Spain, and today I have prepared a little bit different session to share with you about very little bit about my research on meditation. So today's topic is to be self-aware with meditation. So we will go around how attention works, how we are self-aware, and how meditation is helping us to be more and more self-aware. I will tell you a little bit about myself. My first meditation took place in 1987, and 1 year later, I really started meditating every day. That's something important when you take this decision, because it's really a decision to take. You may have a very great interest. Maybe meditation is something very attractive to you, but somehow it's important that you take the decision. You say, okay, every day I will do it. So I remember very well, I took this decision in 1988 till the moment. Parallel to this meditation life, I studied physics and I got a PhD. And in my professional career, my area of research is human postural control system, which means how we keep balance, how our body keep balance. And in the last year, I have tried to do a kind of link between my life as a yogi, a person who meditates, and a scientist. Because I feel that this link gives a very wide view of life. Well, as in a way, meditation helps us to experience ourselves. It's just an experience, it's a real experiment going on within ourselves. And then the research, the scientific method is very helpful as a way to not to fool ourselves, not to deceive ourselves. It keeps you in a position where you don't fool yourself. That's very important, because if we want to do an experiment within ourselves, we need to have very clear the difference between an experience and a belief. We can believe something, but it's different than to experience something. So the scientific method helps a lot to be aware of this difference. And also it's quite interesting about research that can be done from an Eastern approach and from a Western approach. Of course, we are more used. We have the idea of research, like in laboratory with instruments. And so this is research, this is scientist, and then there is a group of subjects, people who participate, and the scientist with this instrument do a research of, for example, what's going on in the brain of people meditating. That's our idea. That's really the Western approach to research. But there is another possibilities. It's possible, it's really possible inside the methodology that the scientist and the person which is the subject of investigation, they can be the same person. Researcher and volunteer for the experiment are the same person. And the instrument, instead of being of this kind of a different instrument with which we record data, the instrument is our nervous system, and instrument is our attention, And we have a lot of mechanism or instrumentation to record information of what's going on within ourselves. So we may say that in my career and professional level, I've done in Western style, Western approach. So I had all this instrument and I did all this data and I used to do algorithm mathematical studies about this data. But when I do research about meditation, it's an Eastern approach. It means I am the researcher, I am the person who is investigating. So like this, it's possible to do research about meditation, what meditation is, what is attention, and what is self-awareness. So today we'll be, of course, talking about this side, meditation, attention, self-aware, from the Eastern approach. When I first started to meditate, it was at that time, my first important experience. It took place with Srimataji in Maladevi. And from all her speech, all that she said at that time, in 1998, I just remember one sentence. It was this one. You must have the open mind of a scientist. And many years later, I said, but really, do I have a good memory? And I looked for this speech, and really, it was there. At that moment, Srimataji said, you must have the open mind of a scientist. So this is, in a way, is a very important part in my meditation path, this kind of doing the experience with the open mind of a scientist. Really, Srimataji, she proposed a laboratory. It's like she turned on the light inside of us. You may already know, along all this week, so the energy, Kundalini energy rises, and it's really enlighten our attention. It means we are more self-aware, so that we start having this experiment within ourselves. A lot of feelings, sensations, perceptions are there. So we realize more, even about attention, how it works, everything from a direct point of view. And I will say it's an experiment beyond thoughts. In this experiment, thoughts are not useful, because it's a direct experience of ourselves, what's going on there. Afterwards, we can write about it. It's like you translate into words your experience. But the experiment itself, it takes place beyond thoughts. And this light, this can be this light we say we have when no thoughts are there. This is what was provided by Srimataji. It gives this easy way to experiment beyond thoughts, thanks to this rising of the Kundalini energy. This experience, we may say, is a gift. It's something spontaneous. That's why they call this method Sahaja. Means spontaneous. It's like she was there, she was meditating with us, and it was like she was giving us a gift. The gift of this spontaneous experience of inner silence. And I remember when I got this day, next day, I invited a friend to come with me. I was so delightful with this experience of thoughtless awareness. I was like finding the best of myself in this experience. So I went with a friend, and this friend of mine, he didn't feel anything at all. And I was surprised, how is this going on? So this question, and the question like this, are my question for research. When I do research about meditation, I try to find an answer to question like this. Why? Is it possible that someone is giving you this gift of inner silence and what it means, because it's a different state? And maybe one person had the experience and the person next to her doesn't have. So, for example, this is one of the questions I will tell you, or answer I will tell you about the research I've done. So, this is a gift. How we get a gift? Someone is giving us a gift. So first, you need to put attention to the gift. And also you must desire to take it. Maybe the gift is there. If you don't put attention, you don't see it. And if it's something is not your desire, it's not important for you, you don't move your hands to take the gift. So that's our freedom, attention, and desire. And if the person is standing there in silence mode and she wants to give you this experience, but we are not interested in it, we don't have it. So we can say like this: the desire to reach the experience of inner silence moves the attention to approach the precise place where the gift can be collected. That's it. A person standing beside us in a state of inner silence favors or helps to bring our attention beyond thoughts. However, it's a part of our freedom to accept it or not that help. So we'll see a little bit about attention, awareness, and desire. Very short. With attention, we choose the elements that will come into our consciousness, into our awareness. And desire, we can say, is the engine for attention. We desire to find the present. This desire is a kind of guiding our attention so that it's easier for us to find where is the present. So this is our freedom. The desire belongs to us. Nobody can change that. And the attention follows our desire. So if we go for a meditation, we have a really pure desire to experience silence, awareness, thoughtless awareness. This desire is going to move our attention so that our attention will be very focused, very centered, and that will be helpful for this experience. But also, we can do research about attention. How do we manage attention? From our freedom, how can we facilitate to share this thoughtless awareness? If someone is there in thoughtless state, with my attention, how can I facilitate to receive this gift of thoughtless awareness? So I will do an explanation about this way, may say, to guide attention so that it's easier to get this gift of thoughtless awareness. And at the same time, we will practice it. I explain, we practice a little bit, and then we will do a meditation, but it will be easier because before we practice a little bit. So first thing, where is my attention? How do I feel my attention? And where do I place my attention? So just now, try to feel your attention. If you realize this kind of awareness, which is your attention. And maybe I give you the answers. Our attention, maybe there are two main possibilities. The first one is our attention in the forehead, in the frontal of the brain cortex. And most of the experiments they've done about attention, they placed attention here. But what happens is here is mainly all our intellectual activity, planning, thoughts. So our attention is mainly in the hands of these thinking processes. So in this area, can be located mainly, we locate mainly attention. But also, if we want, we have this possibility, we can guide our attention a little bit inside towards the limbic area. The limbic area, some decades ago, they said, oh, that's just only for emotion and few things. But in the last decade, they are finding is an important relationship with attention. It means when you are really have steady attention, the mechanisms are there. Also, all the perception arrives there. It's even when you have to take a decision, but without thinking, I mean, something more inside takes place there. Even a movement, for example, if you desire something, this motivation comes from the limbic area. So there are many interesting things now they are discovering about what's going on in the limbic area, which is this space in red. Yeah. And in this area is silence, because thoughts, they are in the cortex. Inside there is silence. So if we manage to center our attention there, it's easier to witness thoughts without getting a kind of conversation with them. This is the same when you listen someone to say, put your attention in the Sahasrara. In this Eastern approach to research from many centuries ago, they have already realized this kind of things. So they used to describe the Sahasrara, and they had this experience. If you center your attention in the Sahasrara, then the meditation state is easier. So they describe the Sahasrara chakra as a lotus of 1,000 petals. At the physiological level, Sahasrara, the base of the Sahasrara is the limbic area, and the 1,000 petals is their 997 nerves of the brain. So imagine when they did this kind of research, they already knew this kind of information. They said 1,000 petals. And now through Western approach research, we know there are 997 nerves in the brain. So when they get enlightened, we experience this meditation state, thoughtless and pure attention. So this can happen spontaneously, but also we have the freedom to settle down our attention in this area. So we may experiment a little bit about this, and then you can do it later on when you meditate. So instead of having your attention here, we will try to feel our attention inside. So to do so, I propose you to touch the top of your head. For example, you put your fingers together and you put your fingers on top of your head. Like this, no, it's not here. Like this, you are feeling this part. And then we want to feel inside. So we just press here and try to feel this central axis, this central channel. Also, you can move your body so that you feel your balance and all your central channel. And try to feel where is your attention, how is your attention. Okay. So instead of having all the attention here, see, you can put your head also and see if you can go inside and find a place of silence. Analogies are also very useful because the experiments is about what we perceive, what we feel. So sometimes an analogy can be helpful. So this is the analogy of the lighthouse, lighthouse and the seams. If you have your attention on the forehead, which is the most normal use we do, the feeling you have resembles being on a ship that rides the mental surf in which we are rocked by waves of the sea of thoughts. This is an analogy that helps us to identify, oh, my attention is in the thinking mode. Or our attention may be in the central channel, and in this case, resembles to be in the upper part of a lighthouse looking at the sea. A sea agitated by waves of thoughts, which we observe from a stillness. So when attention is in the limbic area or inside in the Sahasrara, if a thought appears, the feeling we have is like being in a lighthouse. Okay, the ship is there, the thought is there, I'm looking at it, but the movement of the waves of thoughts, they don't affect me. I'm really calm, I'm quiet. It's like you are anchored in the silence, even though around there is noise, but you feel this silence. And to feel the central axis, before we try this point here, I will propose another one, which also helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So I propose you can do whatever you like, or you may try another thing, just to try to feel this central axis so that your attention moves through this path, and then you by yourself find the place, the seat, where you feel calm, where there is silence. So to find this point here below, I propose you to put the tongue behind, and you press a little bit the palatal, but really behind, so that you can feel a little bit inside. You put the tongue behind, and you press a little bit up there. So like this, and we put here the fingers. So you have these 2 points, so that physically you know where is this central path. So we feel our attention, how it moves. Normally attention tries to move around our head. But now I desire my attention to sit down in the Sahasrara, to sit down in the silence. We relax our tongue, take down our hand, and now let's put our hand in the forehead. See if you can feel the activity in the forehead. And and we desire, we want to relax. Now I'm not interested in thoughts. I'm just listening, I'm just feeling, I'm just experiencing. And now we move a little bit our hand. We separate our hand from the forehead and see if you feel your attention from the hand to the limbic area. You just experience, do the experiment of the space between the hand and the limbic area. You move around your hand and see if your head gets relaxed. You feel like sitting in the limbic area, and from there you contemplate. And thoughts relax, because attention is no more in the forehead. So we move our hand around, feeling, see if there is vibration, this good temperature is there. Okay. We open our eyes so that this will be second part, this experiment. And once we are sitting in the Sahasrara, let's contemplate the heart. It's like you are in this lighthouse and you look with your attention towards the heart. It's a feeling of contemplation, you contemplate. If you wish, you put your hand on the heart, so it's easy. And feel yourself in the heart from inside. Anchor in the silence. So maybe here you feel your presence. In thoughtless, we feel ourselves. We really feel what we are. And maybe you have this feeling of being in the heart. Like if our present, our life comes from the heart. We open our eyes, we continue. So this way, from the heart to the limbic area, from the Untitled Chapter to the Sahasrara, in between, in the neck, is very important place. Visual chakra is there, and there is a relationship, important relationship with the attention. It's very important this area to be relaxed, to be open, so that the attention works properly. Just very short explanation, through this area passes the ascending reticular activating system related to the work of the attention. So when we relax and promote circulation in the cervical area through stretches, the flow of somatic sensory information to our consciousness increases. So all the information we're getting through our nets, our network, all the nervous system, when it goes through the neck, this is very important area. So to have this experiment ourselves, to be conscious, to be self-aware, it's very important that we are relaxed, all this area. And when this area is really relaxed, the feeling is a witness state. When this is relaxed, all the information is moving properly, attention is working. So we are feeling ourselves, all the perceptions are there, and thoughts are not so important, or maybe they are just there, but they don't bother us. And we have this experience of witness state. So to relax the neck, you may try as you like, but for example, it works very well. You just bend towards, let's say, towards the right, very little bit. And then you turn your head as if you want to look your shoulder. Try now, and then you get back here, and again. So let's do it. Now we went to the other side. So you put your hand on one side, and you feel that your central axis, say our colon, doesn't move. We have balance up here, doesn't change. And we just bend the neck. See what you feel inside. And then we turn our head as if we want to look at the shoulder. See if there is a kind of pumping inside the neck. That means circulation is improving. You may try as you like. Also, you can bend forward and behind. Just feel your neck inside. Maybe you feel a kind of pumping, because with this stretching, we are helping to open this area. And once this way is open, from the heart, where is ourself, our spirit goes to our awareness. Now we will do attention to our energy. So, you know, the most important part of our nervous system goes inside our spinal cord. And the energy also moves inside there. So we will try with our attention to feel all the central channel. With the hand, we will guide attention, but also with our hand, we will express our desire. So we put hand on the sacrum bone, and little by little, we raise our hand. We feel inside. See if your attention is in the Sahasrara and you're contemplating from there. And you raise your hand. Feel. And then above the head. See if you're already feeling something special above the head. And again, we do it. So here we are self-aware of our attention, and we are self-aware of our desire. And that helps for the movement of the energy. Okay, we open our eyes. And once we have this experience of witness state, pure attention, meaning an attention which is anchored in the silence. This purity of the attention helps us to find the purity in our desires. When we go beyond thoughts, attention is there, desire is there, and the desire left, which are there when we are silent, are the genuine, the authentic desire. So in meditation, that's why we express our desire. That's why along the week, during meditation, when you have attended these sessions, we used to say, Mother, please, and you ask for it. Mother, like our energy, which is our mother, which is taking care of us. So we express our desire. This desire moves our attention towards the gift we desire. So if we say, I want a stable, thoughtless state, I wish to experience the energy, I wish to experience vibrations. It's like we are listening inside. We listen our spirit, we listen our heart. We realize which is my desire. And you ask for it, and there is an answer. So we rise the energy, pure attention, and we discover our pure desire. What do I desire in meditation? Now we put both hands on our lap and we contemplate. We are in the experiment with our attention, with our desire, and see if our desire is to go beyond thoughts. You are self-aware. This is like a scientist inside of you. And you are perceiving, you are having sensorial information, what's going on. You open your mind to the experience. If you wish, you move your hand to help your attention, to express your desire. Breathe deeply, smile, that helps also. Also the hand helps you to feel. You can move the hand as you like. And you can raise both hands. You may feel the Sahasrara, the energy of these petals coming up. See what you feel. Or if you feel like, you just put the hand, they rest on your lap. Little by little, we open our eyes. If you have any question, please go ahead. Or if you want to write in the chat. Everybody silent. Well, I hope you all enjoy this. Have a nice Saturday.